Good morning, guys. Mike, aka Crypto Jewels. All right, just a real quick Bitcoin update. Following up on yesterday's daily update. I did two yesterday. So the last one I did yesterday, we got into the higher time frame a little bit. I'm not going to get into the higher time frame here. We're just going to follow up on that and assume and discuss that the possibility of the bottom being in here in a WXY structure of a 1-2-1-2. So in order for that really to stay valid and to be vetted out, this structure needs to hold this 1, 2, 3, and then we got to hold this 4 wave and then a 5th wave up, and then some sort of a 2-wave correction, and then a break back above the top of that wave in order for us really to confirm with solid evidence that the bottom is in. I personally believe at this point that the bottom is in. I have no reason not to believe that. Over the past 62 days, this thing has correctively moved downwards, and we got our final flush that we talked about in the last couple of videos. And this is ultimately what we have been expecting and anticipating really ever since I have started to do these daily updates and navigate through this correction down. So this thing currently has all the impulsive characteristics needed to assume that this thing will follow through with a 5-wave impulse. There's no corrective nature within this structure yet. So at this point, I just assume that it's not going to be. Our 4-wave support right now is between this 50% to 38.2% retracement level, which is 28,300 to 28,900-ish. And again, this is on the Bitstamp chart. So, those numbers can vary across different exchanges, but that is what I chart is the Bitstamp chart. So that's ultimately what I see as support for this particular chart. As you guys can see, I've got this channel drawn, which is a typical Elliott wave channeling technique that indicates, 3-wave breakouts, which, not to get into a lot of detail, but a typical Elliott wave channel for a 3-wave breakout, you have a 1, 2, and then that's where you create your channel. And then once it breaks basically the top of this trend line here impulsively, then you can assume that you are moving into your 3-wave. And a lot of times these 4 waves will either retest the top of that channel, which would be somewhere around 29.4, or work their way down to the midline of the channel, which happens to coincide pretty darn well with the 38.2% retracement level, which is right around 28,835. So as of right now, there's a lot of things that are pointing towards, a 4-wave correction coming in and being in play. But I do want to make one thing really clear and important, that if my count is accurate and this is a 1-2-1-2 and we are working on our 3-wave, 3-wave structures are the most powerful waves within the Elliott wave theory. Therefore, they offer few pullbacks, shallow pullbacks, and they typically move fairly rapidly. We're not in the heart of the 3 yet, meaning we have not entered our 3 of 3, which will happen here. It will be a little bit slower, but that as a little bit slower is in reference to once we enter our 3 of 3, which would technically be the heart of the 3-wave. So when I say that, keep in mind, this entire correction down was 62 days. This move off of the low was 6 days. So that's pretty damn fast, but it's not as fast or as explosive as it will be once we do enter the heart of our 3-wave, once we actually finish and complete this 4 and then move back up to our 5. Ultimately, I would assume this 2 will be a shallow 2. I would not anticipate a 61.8% retracement for that 2 wave. You know, it could go to 38.2, you know, possibly 50%. It just really depends, you know, where this thing tops. But if it does top there, you know, I've got it really pretty much right at 38.2% right now, but kind of getting ahead of myself a little bit. But ultimately, what we need to see happen is we need to see this structure hold for now. If it does not, there's a couple other bullish scenarios out there that this would be a leading diagonal, being that this is a ABC for a 1, and then you would have an ABC for a 2, and then an ABC for a 3, so forth and so on. So, you know, but again, until we break support and invalidate this 4 wave, my assumption is that's what we got. All right, see y'all later.